What's up, everyone? Tara Roberts here with 444, and it is time to beat the waiver wire. We are 1 week away from the fantasy playoffs for most leagues. Some of you are in the playoffs right now, so it is time to get strategic. We are playing the long game here. We are beating the waiver wire by attacking waiver wire ads before the rush so you can get ahead of the game. Before we get started, remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you want more fantasy insights and tips, head over to 444.com/plans and sign up today. And exclusively for our YouTube audience, use promo code YouTube at checkout to save 25%. Now let's go ahead and dive right in with our first player, Jameis Winston. In week 14, there are only 2 teams on a bye. And because this is a terrible matchup, there won't really be a mad rush to the waiver wire to grab Jameis Winston. Honestly, I'm not opposed to starting Jameis in week 14 against Carolina. Carolina has absolutely dominated quarterbacks all season long, but Jameis Winston, he is not the type of player to back down from a tough matchup. He'll still throw for volume, he'll have a couple of touchdowns, he'll have a couple of interceptions, that's okay. But what we are looking ahead to is week 15. The Saints play the Giants, and I would absolutely stream him in this matchup. This does take a leap of faith. It's not as straightforward as some of our other ads this week because we are hinging on Jameis as a start based off of Carr's injury. Carr took a rough hit last week and was ruled out with a variety of injuries, but the big injury issue here is the concussion. Normally, we would say, okay, Carr's going to be out this week, and then he'll be back for week 15. But this is murky territory here because this is Carr's second concussion of the year, and the last concussion came literally within a month. This makes his return timeline very unclear. Everyone else is going to be running to the waiver wire and grabbing Jake Browning or Gardner Minshew, so you can stash Winston at no cost. And again, if you watch the last 2 videos of Beat the Waiver Wire, you already have Minshew, you already have Browning, because that's exactly who I recommended as a stash. This week, your target is Jameis to stash. Moving on to the next player, it is Michael Wilson. Arizona is on a bye week, and the hope here is that Michael Wilson can heal and return in week 15 to full health. Marquise Brown left Arizona's week 13 game about halfway through, and the game, as a result, with the remaining receiving core was very jarring. Greg Dortch actually led the receiving core in terms of production with 1 catch for 19 yards. A healthy Wilson, though, is still the wide receiver 2 in this offense that should bounce back after the bye week. Wilson has only played 1 game with Kyler Murray's first game back. It's been tough for the entire receiving core with Trey McBride as the clear preference in this offense, but Wilson is talented. He showed upside earlier in the season with his breakout 2-touchdown, 26 fantasy point performance. And here's a big reason why I want to take a chance on Wilson. At first glance, Arizona's playoff schedule is ugly. San Francisco, Chicago, Philadelphia. But when I look at that schedule, I see 3 offenses that there is 0 chance that Arizona's defense can stop. These are shootout games against defenses you absolutely do not want to attack on the ground. These are high-volume Kyler Murray games. Philadelphia's defense is one of the most pass-friendly options in the entire league. Justin Fields is always capable of taking advantage of poor defenses, and we have already seen the first matchup between Arizona and San Francisco where Christian McCaffrey had his best performance of the season with 4 touchdowns. But you know who else had their best performance in that game? Michael Wilson. That was the 26 fantasy point game. Add Michael Wilson. Now moving on to the next player, Dontayvion Wicks. If Christian Watson's injury is significant and causes him to miss multiple weeks, grab Dontayvion Wicks now and save yourself the trouble of a potential rush to the waiver wire to grab him next week. Despite being the 4th option in the receiving core, Wicks has actually had steady involvement in this offense. Since week 8, Wicks has had a minimum of 4 targets in each game that he's been active, and he's been doing so on less than a 50% snap count. Most of the time, somewhere in the 30% range. All Wicks needs is the opportunity, and there is a path to increase snaps if Watson is out. The Packers play the Giants, and Jordan Love is on a tear right now and should continue to thrive. And if the injury to Watson is extended, the Week 15 matchup is excellent as well. Grab Wicks now, and don't wait for him to have a strong game against the Giants. Get him now, stash him now. Wicks has big play capabilities, and both Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love have shown clear trust in Wicks. And our last player here that we're going to talk about is Chris Rodriguez. Because Washington is on a bye week, there's a chance we might not really know much around the details of the severity to the injury to Brian Robinson. But it is a hamstring injury, and we do know that while severity in hamstring injuries is all over the place, a multi-week absence is common. And if you have room, stash Chris Rodriguez. For everything that we don't know about this injury, we do know how Ron Rivera feels about Antonio Gibson, and it's likely that Rodriguez would see some work. And if you aren't familiar with Rodriguez, he is definitely a talented back. He has had strong production in college, and he profiles as the workhorse type of running back, similar to Brian Robinson. Perhaps goal line carries could be where we get some value from him, and Washington has been known to give receptions to technical non-receiving backs, so I wouldn't be shocked if they do try to use him a bit in checkdowns if the opportunity presents itself. Don't wait for this to be a split backfield. Stash Rodriguez now. You don't have to spend fab. You don't have to lose your waiver wire priority. Stash him and just kind of see how this all shakes out. And that wraps things up. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to like the video and comment below. And if you want more fantasy insights and tips, head over to 444.com/plans and sign up for a subscription today. And exclusively for our YouTube audience, use promo code YouTube at checkout to save 25%.